Hey guys, insight number 2. I thought we were going to chapter 4, but no, we're still in chapter 3 because I wanted to talk more about verses 19 through 21, which I'm glad of because there's another really great point in here. And I finished the last one and went, I didn't get time to talk about that. So good. See, I largely just free thing these. I have a few notes. You can see, a few notes. But certainly not for the 10 minutes that I seem to run my mouth. So largely just comes to me. So it might not be good for you, and it might be good for you, so I don't know. But you're here for the fun. Okay, scripture goodness, chapter 3, verses 19 through 21. So in 19, these are Lehi and Nephi's words to us today, and compare tracking a package. So it says here, "And the words which he shall write shall be the words which are expedient in my wisdom, should go forth unto the fruit of thy loins, and it shall be as if the fruit of thy loins had cried unto them from the dust, for I know their faith." Now, David Butler brings this up about compare it to tracking a package when you order something from the supplier. But this isn't a new concept. This has been said a few times, and maybe he's heard it and don't remember it, or maybe he's just re-quoting. I don't know, but he did say it recently. But, oh, something's burning out there, and boy, does it stink. Let me just close this window. Whew. Bad. Okay. So, the Lord told Lehi many things, but he also spoke to us, descendants and relatives, the house of Israel. And these words are handpicked for us. Handpicked. By who? So, from Lehi and Nephi, these were handpicked. Think of these as tracking a parcel. So the sender was Nephi. He wrote them down. Who is the courier? Christ got them here. So through lots of different people. One of them that we know of is Mormon, who compiled it. Moroni, who made sure that Nephi got it back. That Joseph Smith Jr. got it and got it back and was able to do it, and then he took it back again, and then the words get to us because they're copied down and put into our language. So there's a lot of different, the courier system there is, the courier is Christ, but it's his divine design that gets it to us. But these words are for us. So what was their track journey to you? We know how they got to Joseph Smith. How did they get to you? So to me, I first encountered them growing up because my grandparents were members of the church. They were converts and we went to church. But they didn't necessarily introduce the Book of Mormon to me. The one who really introduced the Book of Mormon to me was a primary teacher I had. Her name's Vicky. I still see her in the temple. She's a wonderful woman. And she'd just come off her mission and she was called to teach the senior girls class. And boy, were we a little pack of we were really disrespectful and really unkind to her, and yet she persevered because she has the patience of a saint, that woman, I swear. She's just amazing. But really good teacher for us for many reasons. But that was the lesson one day. I was like, do you have a testimony? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, have you prayed about it? I'm like, no, I don't know, because attitude, right? We're just that kind of girls. And she said, well, maybe you should pray about it and then read it. So that was one way it got to me, because I did pray about it and I did get my answer. Another courier, one of the courier people, sort of in the way that they got it to me, the way that Christ got it to me, was a message from President Benson, Ezra Taft Benson, in the 1987 October General Conference. And he talks about the Book of Mormon. Now, I've mentioned this one a lot, but it is true that it did resonate with me that way, and it did get me to read the Book of Mormon the following year, 1986 October General Conference, because 1987 is the year that I read the Book of Mormon cover to cover. For the first time, cover to cover. I'd read bits before, and I sort of was like, oh yeah, it's a cool story. I hadn't really thought about it in any great depth, And so that was that year. I was ready for it, and it spoke. But these words that they wrote down, you could say they were written directly to me. Many times over, I could say, I'm sure this was written just for me. And yet it's not. It's written for all of us. It applies to me 100%. And that's part of likening the scriptures unto us, which we talked about last week, a couple of weeks ago. But it still is for everyone. It's for everybody. So these words got to us. How did they get to you? I know how they got to me. The courier's Christ. I didn't order them, but they arrived. It's a gift that arrived from the supplier, being Lehi and Nephi, and these particular words, these chapters for sure. Suppliers in the other chapters are going to be different people. But these words that I treasure came from Nephi specifically, but he wrote what Lehi said as well. So they're a treasure from very, very distant relatives, but nonetheless family. So, how did they get to you? Let us know. I'm grateful for a prophet that gave that talk that I'm sure affected more than just me, because a lot of people talk about that particular talk. And I'm grateful he did that. For whatever reason he felt inspired to, and whatever it meant to everybody else, I'm grateful for that one. I'm grateful for that primary teacher that had that mission experience to then invite me to find out for myself my testimony. And there's been many other people that have brought different Book of Mormon gems to my life through inspiration of Christ as to what they teach, how they go about delivering. So that's just wonderful. I love that. But think of it as tracking a parcel. When you look up to see where it came from, how did this good news get to you? I know, it's awesome. How did these beautiful words get into your life? Who brought them into your life? Who was, it's Christ's courier company. Who was the, actual person that knocked on your door and said, hey, I've got a gift from you. It's from Lehi and Nephi, but it's coming by way of Christ. Do you want to hear? Right? Okay. And what words will you cry out from your life? I thought that would be interesting because, you're crying out there on that verse there, like they cry out from the dust because of their faith. Like they're talking about their words are coming from the dust because of their faith, and because of our faith, we'll understand them. We'll get them. We will have such faith that we will be ready to receive this ancient record. It's a wonderful concept to think about, that they had same problems back then, and they're giving us advice on how to deal with them, and we've got to read it. That's it. I just love that. So, and look at verse 23. I think it was 23. No, it must be 25. Yeah, 25. I can't read my own writing. Which is lovely. It says, And now blessed art thou, Joseph. Behold, thou art little. Wherefore hearken unto the words of thy brother Nephi, and it shall be done unto thee, even according to the words which I have spoken, and with the words of thy dying father. So, you're not old enough for the big stuff yet. And many of us feel that way. We're not old enough for the big stuff, but you know what? The gospel's simple. The gospel message is beautiful in its simplicity. So, do you embrace that? Do you embrace the beauty of the simplicity of the gospel? And cry unto the Lord. Use scriptures in finding answers because they're given to us. And, he says, while you're little, listen to those you can trust. While you're little in the gospel, while you're learning, and I still count myself as little. I am by no means even like a teenager in the gospel. I'm still little. And some people would say, no, you must. That's a perspective thing. I find I've still got so much to learn, so far to go. Some of the people I know that talk, I could listen to them for days on end because they're incredibly knowledgeable and fascinating. And I'm glad they write books, and I'm glad they do podcasts and go to different conferences and talk and stuff. I get to learn from them, and I'm very grateful for that too. So, yeah, are you crying unto the Lord, and are you using scriptures and finding these answers? Because these words are for us. The Lord spoke to Lehi about us. The Lord showed Joseph of Egypt what we would need, and that it would be his descendants that did it several times over. It's just incredible. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, some good things to think in there. When I really did that, the Lord spoke to Lehi about us. These are for us. Are you using them? Are you reading them? Are you bringing them into your life? Encourage you to do that. Okay, now we're going to go over to 2 Nephi 4. I'll see you there.